All right, Instagram Live.
Hi guys, our first time going on live with Instagram. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Riker. I came up to the winery, up to Paso, to our tasting room out of San Diego. I got a little getaway from the kids. And I'm just excited to be here in person together with Riker and pour through the next wine with you. So this week, we said that we were going to be going through our Hyperbole. Riker's going to get into that. This is what the bottle looks like here, so you can see it online. And this is a little bit about it.
By the way, I think that's my grandmother. She just joined us.
Oh, hey, Grandma. What's up?
So we've been doing this on Facebook for the last 2 times. We
Yeah.
thought we'd change it up and do Instagram this time. We're going to probably keep playing around with it, I think, to see what we get more people involved with. But yeah, if anyone is watching that has missed the previous 2, previously we went over Maniacal was last week, and then the Coast View Syrah was the week before.
Yep.
As Stephanie mentioned, we're doing Hyperbole 2022 this week. So I think we dive right into it, Steph.
Yeah, I think we do too. So the Hyperbole...
Happy Friday feature.
I know, yay! So for this one, this is again part of our spring shipment. If you're part of the wine club, it is being delivered. We actually have our pickup party tomorrow, which we're super excited about. Yay!
Excited to pour all the wines together for all the club members. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, so yeah, this is the 3rd wine of 4 that we have. So I'm excited. Cheers.
Not a virtual cheers this
I
time.
know, now it's in person. So I guess we can start off really quick with the glass. You chose this type of glass. You guys are used to my glasses at home. I've got my whole setup, but this time we've got this one here.
Yes.
Riker picked it out.
So we went for more of a Pinot shaped glass. It's kind of that big bulb kind of a thing. Pinot is really known as an aromatic varietal. And so this big bulb, allows for you to really swirl it around quite a bit, which helps to kind of lift all of those aromas up into the glass.
I'm still learning. You're a lot better at it than me, yes. Anytime I want to feel like I can actually swirl it, I do it on the table, and I still have it kind of down like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting blending a Pinot Noir versus other wines like Maniacal, which we talked about, because...
this is really good.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Well, not surprised. I'm happy with how it turned out. Anytime you blend a wine, you put it into tank, and you're always like, "Oh, did I do it quite right?"
Yeah.
It goes through some shock, and then especially right after bottle, you'll hear people say, "Oh, the wine's bottle shocked."
Oh, okay.
And so, like 2 weeks to a month after bottling, the wine's kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it's been a couple months since this has been in bottle. It's really coming around. This is one that when I go through and blend it, I'm focused as much on the aromatics as I am on the texture.
Okay.
Whereas for the Rhone stuff, I'm definitely leaning more texture.
Okay, and Rhone is anything
aromatics.
that's not a Pinot?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So that would be our Grenache, our Syrah, our Mourvedres.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, but I know with Pinot Noir, there's so much beautiful aromatics in the wine. And so this one in particular is coming from, I think we did 5, maybe 6 vineyards.
Okay.
On the
Hi
wine.
everyone, thank you for joining us. We
Yeah.
see you there. We're talking about right here our Pinot Noir Hyperbole. It's part of our latest release. You can check that out there.
Yeah, so this is the 2022.
Yeah.
Very difficult harvest in California.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers, we had it's not a heat wave, a heat dome is what they were calling it. I think, on the Central Coast, we had temperatures of 100, 110 for 3 straight weeks, it seemed like.
Wow.
And so we basically had a really condensed harvest.
Okay.
Usually we would spread our harvest out over the course of 2-3 months. This was like 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so logistically, it was really tough getting all the fruit in and fermenting it and getting it all done. But the wine has turned out phenomenal.
Yeah, it tastes really good. It's very easy to drink.
Totally. And that's kind of, I don't want to say Hyperbole is more in that easy to drink category.
I mean, all the wines are easy to drink, right?
But because it's a blend, we're able to kind of we're able to make exactly the wine that we want to make. And we are able to make Pinot Noir through kind of our own palate, if you will.
Okay.
And so, like I said, this is coming from 5 different vineyards, this vintage. Starting down in Santa Barbara, we work with Radian Vineyard, which is diatomaceous earth, really steep slopes, really cold. This also sees, a little bit of Norgrove Vineyard, which is, it's technically slow coast, but it's just south of Pismo Beach. So the soils there are a little bit more sandy. We have a little bit of a vineyard called Jack Ranch, which is technically Edna Valley in San Luis Obispo as well. Some Escol Vineyard, which is coming from Santa Lucia Highlands. That's more sandy loam. And then a vineyard, which we tasted the Syrah of, which was Coast View. We actually made Pinot Noir from the same vineyard. And so similarly, like we were talking with Coast View and the Syrah, it has that really texture sort of thing. The Pinot does a similar thing. And so if you taste the wine in an ideal world, we're getting all that texture, that's coming from Coast View. The Escol Vineyard is more the mid palate, the fruitiness. The Norgrove is kind of what I refer to as the workhorse. So that's like the base for the wine. Very red fruits, a little bit of spice in there, and florals. That's like classic slow coast. And then Radian, which is sort of our probably best Pinot vineyard that we work with.
And we have a single
vineyard
for the Radian as well.
Yep.
Is that common? Like, so when going through Pinots, do Pinots normally have, like, if I'm on a menu at a restaurant, right? Is it mostly blends? Like, it's a Pinot Noir, so it's a single varietal, which I'm learning. So it's a single grape, but it's from different vineyards. So it's technically a blend, but it's a single varietal blend.
Correct.
So Pinot's kind of like that, or when
really
you do
rare to blend anything with Pinot Noir, because it's sort of a lot of people refer to it as kind of the holy grail of grape, or something like that, where it's very noble. Is what they'll refer to it as. You don't want to muddy the waters too much with other varietals. There's great examples of blended Pinots with other stuff, but for what we're doing here, we definitely like the single varietal.
But what about the vineyard?
Yeah, so then the vineyard, because Pinot is a noble grape, it also tends to show the terroir really well. Terroir is like translated as somewhereness. So people will refer to it like terroir, terre, earth. It has a lot to do with the soil. But it also has to do with the aspect of the hill, like what direction is the slope going? How cold is it? How much sunlight do you get? What are the farming methods? Is it organic? Is it not organic? What is the trellising system? I mean, are you 12 inches off the ground, 18 inches off the ground, 24 inches off the ground? How densely planted are the vines? Do you have 2,000 vines an acre, 4,000 vines an acre?
Wow.
In Burgundy, they have 20,000 vines an acre.
Wow.
Yeah, and so all of these factors play into to kind of give you that sense of somewhereness. And Pinot just happens to be able to communicate it really well. And so so we do make a bunch of those, but I also, when I look at like the Central Coast and Pinot Noir, it's a bit of a disservice to just say, oh, this is Radiant Vineyard, this is Solomon Hills, this is this is Escol Vineyard. You got to be able to zoom out and go, this is Central Coast.
Got it. And so that's what this does.
Yeah. It's kind of that zoom out, and then we have all the single vineyards to then zoom into the different parts of the Central Coast.
Yeah, so then we offer single vineyard Pinots on our website that you can taste the different vineyards up and down the coast, or then you can also get the blended version.
Right. And we're working too with Troy in our tasting room right now to...
Shout out to Troy. Hey, Troy.
To be able to offer like a Pinot only tasting.
Yes, a Pinot flight. What do you guys think about that? Feel free to drop comments in. Hey, people are waiting. If you guys have any questions, please submit questions. Riker is here to answer any questions for you. More so than what if I don't have all the right questions and you guys want to know more about something, feel free to drop it in. But yeah, Pinot Flight, that would be super fun.
Yeah, so it's cool because you get to taste this wine, 2022 Hyperbole, for anyone that's just joining. Blended Pinot Noir from the Central Coast. You're able to taste that, and then 3 to 4 or even 5 single vineyard Pinots that we also make.
Yeah.
And, you know, while we're doing that, Troy's got the map of the Central Coast. We're able to talk about the soil types, and we're able to talk about the trellising and the farming and all this really cool stuff. I mean, an hour and a half goes by and you're like, oh my God, I just basically drove 200 miles up and down the Central Coast.
Yeah, very
Super
cool.
fun on the tasting.
Yeah, I'm definitely into that.
Yeah, so, but yeah, that's kind of the wine. It's, I'm really, really happy with how it turned out considering how difficult the vintage was.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, you don't think about, you kind of forget what the years were like previously. So when a wine comes out, thinking back to what was happening during that time to then come up with the wine. So it's fun to like talk about the different vintages, because I don't know about anyone who's tuning in, I didn't always quite get the vintage or what makes it better or worse, or like why the 15 or the 14 or the 20 or the whatever it might be. And so this has a lot to do with it, of just the timing, what was happening in the weather, or whatever. Yeah,
definitely. And this is also the first wine that we're coming out, apart from Resolution, which we're going to be tasting next week, I believe.
Yes, Resolution white for all the people who like white.
From the 2022 vintage, which also kind of signifies our transition into a slightly different winemaking philosophy. So this wine, for those of you that have gotten your hands on it, you'll notice that it's got a little bit more finesse into it. We have focused more on picking earlier for this thing.
Okay.
Which would give us less alcohol and a little bit more acid. And then adjusting our extraction protocol in order to get that tannin and that texture that we're looking for.
Got it.
And then on the blending side, what I noticed right away was that we had so much of that red fruit, which is very slow coast, like I mentioned with Norgrove. But blending in something like Escol and Radian brought that blue fruit component as well. So you'll get that, it's not a blueberry, but it's almost like a boysenberry kind of a thing. Which is also quite unique. The florals are starting to come around as well. We do bottle this younger than other wines. This is at about, I want to say 14 or 15 months in barrel.
Versus...
up to 20.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
and it's something that I'd like to continue. We even do 10 months in barrel or something like that. Just because the way we're also building the wine is, like you mentioned, it's so easy to drink. We're building it to be kind of that entry point into, you know, that single vineyard stuff. So there's a little bit more whole cluster in the wine. There's no new oak on the wine, so it's all about freshness.
Which we learned last week. For those of you who didn't tune in, then that means if there wasn't new oak, it has a barrel that's been used. Right. So then it's not getting any of the oak flavor into. It's not necessarily like contaminating, but tampering with, like soaking into the grapes. You're keeping it as it's meant to taste.
It's somewhat, right? Because I don't want to say like oak gets in the way. It can. It's like salt in a dish. You always, anytime you eat some analogy. Food and you go, oh, it needs a little salt. You add some salt and it tastes way better, and there's more going on. You can taste other flavors within the dish. But you know when you've had a dish that has too much salt. Yes. So
Evan was just asking if we were on. We switched over to Instagram, so you guys are joining us for the first time here. We normally are on Facebook, so we're trying to figure out how to live stream it from Instagram to also Facebook. If anybody knows, let us know. Hello, thank you for joining us. Yes, a Pinot flight would be great. I think so too. I think that would be super fun.
It would be.
And you know, when I first came up here, Riker kind of walked me through all of that, and we had the glasses out, and then you can see even just in the different color variation to it was super cool, and just all of it kind of side by side, almost kind of like when you taste through beer and you have the flight there, it was kind of like that. It was super fun. So when you're making this wine, are you in the process, are all the vineyards together? Or are they all in separate barrels and then you blend it? Or how does this
separate
one
barrels
work?
and then you blend it? Yeah. So there's no co-fermenting of this, like which we talked about last week a little bit with the Grenache and Syrah or Grenache and Petit. It's all separate. We do blend early again on this wine because the idea is each vineyard is sort of a player on the team. The longer they have time to practice together, the better they're going to be.
I like that, especially because I'm a sports person.
Yeah.
I was an athlete. I played Division I sports, so I like that. They're all players on the team.
Yeah, and so like I want to give them the most time to be together.
Okay.
And to integrate together.
Got it.
Real quick, back to the yolk thing though.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the salt in the dish.
Yeah.
So for this wine in particular, it is more pure fruit, and we're building it so that it doesn't really need any oak in order to showcase the vineyards properly.
And by pure fruit, you mean?
There's none of the like the oak influence. It's not giving that spice component,
Got
any
it.
of that stuff,
Okay.
because I'm getting that from all the different vineyards.
Got it.
So like I mentioned, Coast View has the texture.
Yeah.
You can also get texture from a barrel.
Yeah.
I'm just choosing to make the Coast View in a way that gives me texture.
Okay.
The Escol tends to be more mid-palate.
Okay.
You can get mid-palate from a barrel, but I'm building it more so that it has the mid-palate. And then the blend comes together and like, that's how we're getting the balance. Now, Pinot, like Syrah, can handle a lot of new oak.
Yeah.
It was kind of a revelation to me. I was reading Clive Coates' book on Burgundy. Mm-hmm. He's a master of wine, and he just brilliant guy. But he basically tasted around to all the great domains of Burgundy, which is where Pinot Noir is from.
Okay.
And there, the way they classify the wines is the vineyard will be a Grand Cru, which is the best vineyard.
Okay.
They then have a Premier Cru, which is a step down.
Okay.
They then have what's called a village or village level.
Oh, okay.
And then they have
Village.
Then they'll have what's called Bourgogne or Burgundy appellated.
Okay.
So this is sort of our Bourgogne appellated. It's a blend of a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
But on the Grand Cru, like a lot of times they're doing 100% new French oak.
Wow.
Like, it kind of blew my mind that they would put that much new oak on the wines.
Oh, yeah?
But when you taste them, you go, yeah, there's some barrel in there, but it doesn't take away from the vineyard in any way.
Oh,
it enhances the flavor.
Yeah, okay.
And so, kind of clicked in my head, going, oh, you know, these higher appellations in terms of like quality can handle more oak.
Yeah.
And so we've taken a similar philosophy for the single vineyards.
Okay, got
So
it. So the
Radiant-
single vineyards see new oak.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Radiant,
okay.
even though there's Radiant in this wine, I'm only using neutral barrels of Radiant to go into this.
Got
the
it.
actual single vineyard Radiant has, I don't know, I think we're at 40% new oak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's a lot to manage.
Yeah.
So you have the same vineyard, the same varietal, but then in two different types of barrels.
4 types of barrels.
Four,
I mean,
wow.
it's because even within that, we're using 3 different coopers.
What's a cooper?
So I can get a barrel from a cooper called Eric Millard. Shout out Boswell Company.
Okay.
Awesome barrels, really fun. And they taste different than a barrel from Caduce.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
so even within the barrel program,
So
they're
crazy.
aging the wood differently.
Wow.
Different forests in France have different flavors.
Wow.
So
yeah.
you can have a Trancé forest, or Allier is another
Wow.
forest. And so we work with, I like the Allier forest. It tends to go well with Pinot.
Okay.
But every barrel's going to play different with every vineyard.
So interesting.
And
Wow.
then even within that, you also have different toastings. Medium toast, light toast, medium toast long, medium plus toast.
What is toast?
Toast is, so the way they build a barrel, I got to go to the Caduce factory in Beaune. It was awesome. They basically, they mill the tree down.
Uh-huh.
They cut it into kind of long staves.
Yeah.
And then they stack those outside. and they sit there for like 3 years.
Wow.
Rain, snow, humidity, heat, all of it. They then take that and they will cut the staves to size. They will apply steam in order to bend it.
Okay.
They hammer the hoops onto the barrel so they can construct the barrel like that.
Yeah.
It then goes into a toasting protocol where they actually have open flames on the ground.
Crazy. Yeah.
The barrel doesn't have its head on yet, so they can put it on.
I can relate.
Yeah. They can put it over the fire.
Wow.
And then based on how hot the fire is, how long
so they're
it's on the
literally
fire.
toasting it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so it's toasting. So like we work with barrels. I tend to like a barrel that has maybe a little bit of a lower fire, but a longer toasting.
Okay, got it.
And so you're able to get, again, it matters on the cooperage and stuff, but they don't quite have as much of that like aromatic, charred, toasty smell. But it gives you the texture that you're looking for.
Got it. And then so you as our winemaker, you decide and select different barrels.
Yeah, so that's like one of the best times is when the barrel reps come around to the winery in the winter usually. We put our barrel orders in if we're on it by March.
Yeah.
But we'll taste through all of the barrels and then we can start to make different calls. And so
we'll have to do that next time, guys.
Yeah, it's a really fun time. It's really intense like work because you're really hyper focused on, well, is this medium barrel that much better than a medium plus?
Yeah.
Or like what's it bringing out that's different?
Right.
And so over years and years and years, I mean, we're just now starting out, but eventually we'll have a barrel regime that like works really well with every vineyard that we're happy about.
Yeah, very cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely want to be a part of that. Well, so back to this wine, you guys, for anyone tuning in, this is the wine that we're looking at. It's part of our spring release right now. It's the 2022. It's a Pinot Noir. It's called Hyperbole. It's the first wine we're releasing for our 2022 vintage. You can check it out online. It's a Pinot blend, so it's part of Cuvée series, which means it's a mix. So even though it's a single varietal, it comes from a couple different vineyards, so technically it's a blend. And so that's what brought us here. So while we're going to be wrapping up soonish, we probably have like 8 minutes, tell me, what would you pair with this wine? Because it's a Pinot, and it's a red, but it's a blend, and so you've got a lot happening, but it's easy to drink.
Yeah, I mean, classic Pinot pairings, like people all say roast chicken.
Oh,
like a buttermilk brine, like whole roasted yardbird kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Delicious. I love it with salmon.
Ooh, I love salmon.
Fish and red wine is like sometimes a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Salmon's got enough going on that it's always a great pairing with, like, I don't know, a ginger glaze, like a honey ginger glaze or something like that.
Wow, that sounds
super
really
tasty.
Good. I know every time we go through the recipes, I don't know if you guys are getting the emails and you see it, but whenever we go through the recipes, I'm always like, oh, this is so good. I can't wait to make this. And then I want to drink my wine with it. And for those of you tuning in, if you do, when you get our emails, we send them out weekly. You can subscribe. And I include the recipe that Riker has mentioned to pair with the wine. If you guys make it, tag us, post it, tag us in it. If you're drinking the wine, tag us. We'll reshare. Super fun to kind of pair stuff together and see it like out in the wild, right? So if you make it, if you do any of the recipes, last week we did ratatouille, which was really cool. You can DM us if you want to get on our subscription list. I'm happy to send those emails to you guys. But yeah, okay, so that's kind of the dish that you would pair with it.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, and then again, cheese or charcuterie, it's a lighter wine, so if you're doing a dinner party, it's always like white or champagne, and then you move to maybe Pinot. Okay. And then if you're going to do something bigger afterwards, you do that. So, you know, it's kind of an apps hors d'oeuvres wine. So, I mean, I love it with like brie.
Okay, love brie.
Yeah, something creamy.
Okay.
Love that wine, or this wine with that kind of thing.
Awesome, great. Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you want to leave us with this wine?
Not really. I mean, I'm just
other
really,
than to buy it, it's really good.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm just really, I'm just really stoked that the 22s are tasting this good. Like, we're gonna be bottling a few more in the coming months. They're all, coming around. So.
Great. Okay. Well, guys, stop in our tasting room. I'm live here in our tasting room. I'm going to be here the rest of the day. So if you want to see me in real life, you can come in. We have our pickup party tomorrow, so we're going to be doing that. Even if you guys aren't a member, you can come by. You can purchase a ticket, go through the tasting. Riker's going to be here, our wonderful winemaker, to go through the wines.
Pizzas as well.
Sold. We're doing the pizza. We're doing a pizza pairing with each of the wines. It's going to be super fun. But yeah, stop in. Tasting room. We are open, walk-in, Thursday through Monday. We have reservations by appointment, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So definitely check us out. Thanks for tuning in. We're so appreciative to see everyone here. We hope you like it. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM us. Send us an email, info@cordantwinery.com, or send us a DM here on Instagram, Facebook. We're happy to answer any additional questions. If you want to subscribe to our emails, I'm going to be sending out the recap and the highlights. You'll also be able to see this video recording on our YouTube channel at Cordant Winery. So if you're just tuning in now, you'll be able to see us there, and you can start from the beginning. We also have our other two Feature Fridays up there, so you'll see that there. Thank you. Vegas, Rennie, very informative. We're so glad you like it. If you guys, if you have any questions, drop them in. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking this tour with us. Next week, same time. I'll probably send an email out if we're going to be on Instagram or on Facebook, let you guys know. Or if anyone knows how to put those together, you'd think we would know, but, we don't. But we'll be back next week, and we're going over our last wine in our spring shipment, our Resolution.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. Cheers. I hope you guys have a great Friday.
And stop.